How do you measure or express the effectiveness of machine translation or human translation as well? Is it the speed at which the translations are completed? Is it the time it takes to turn around a project? And NMT engines can easily outperform human translations there with thousands of characters, tens of thousands of characters or more per second. Traditionally, the good old RBMT or rule-based machine translation has been seen as the fastest approach for many implementations, but that's no longer the case. We initially started at about 50 characters per second, and we now easily, on a very simplest installation, can do 2,000 characters per second for most languages, some of them even faster. If you need it faster, it can also be scaled really easily. You usually have your server in a configuration that will handle the usual amount. You have sized it, you set it up for handling the amount of volume you expect, and it's good at that. But then you have the occasional or maybe a regular interruption of service in the sense of, oh, now we have a rush project. We need something much faster. Maybe a language that is a little bit slower. You can deploy multiple instances of the translation engine, and that immediately gets you into the range of 4,000 characters to 15,000 characters potentially. You have also the ability to scale it with multiple servers. So in addition to the main server that you initially start, you can add additionals, or what we call computing nodes, to go even faster. And then of course you can also complement it with GPU, and you have thousands, of course, crunching through that really quickly. There's other techniques and technologies. We also cache the material now, so that gets you, even on a low-end system, into the tens of thousands of characters per second quite easily. When you have material that is repetitive, such as a chain email with a lot of repetition of legal disclaimers, same sentences over again and again, they get translated once, then they are in cache, and everything else goes through super fast. Another measure for effectiveness in translation is, of course, the quality of the translation, and how do you express that? How do you compare that between neural machine translation and human? Human translators are not all able to translate the same material, and they don't have the same level of expertise. Neural machine translations can be trained very quickly and easily. It's also not just about translating the perfect sentences and the content in perfect condition. There's a lot of noise, there's a lot of glitches in OCR, typos. There's errors in transmission. If you have material that's in audio form that needs to be transcribed, it's in a noisy environment. Machine translation can be trained not just on the perfect scenario, but also on scenarios where there is a need to understand what probably was the better way to interpret what was heard or what was seen. So it's a new world where we can get better translation. At times we call it a superhuman translation.